So now we're going to prepare these teeth. And anytime I want to prepare the teeth and getting them prepared to etch and bond and get ready to biofilm, everything before we start, we always we do a prophylaxis. We never take shade on a tooth that has not been cleaned properly, but we want it moist. We don't desiccate the tooth. Remember, you want to take shade on a clean, moist tooth. Okay. Then we go in the interproximal, get off any plaque with a diamond strip, 15 micron diamond strip, and then we'll measure for symmetry. Okay, and I look at the cant. Notice on the patient's upper left side. Okay, that the cant is really pretty vertical, and that's what we want. If you take a look at the right side, it's got a mesial cant to it, and I want to straighten that out and create the illusion that it's uprighted. So I always take that into note. You'll see that what we did in the finish case. Now I don't have to prep this tooth in any way except acid etches. So I'll isolate with a mylar strip or anything else you want, etch to the middle third. And when you take a look at the etched tooth, you can see on the proximal there that there's an area that's unetched. Why? This patient had braces, had brackets on, and there was some of the cement left on. So I had to take it off, this area right here. Okay, so I gotta take that off, freshen it up, then go back and re-acid etch, put on my air thinner, put on my wash and dry it, put on my bonding adhesive. Bonding adhesive's in place. I use convenience forms. In this particular case, I'm doing a diastema, so I make it in this sort of elliptical shape, and I can place it on my instrument, and I do use my fingers to do that, and I can place it, start to shape it, and sculpt it, rather than just putting on a bulk of material and having to take the excess off. And you can see how the attention to detail when I'm sculpting it underneath the free margin, looking at the line angles, paying attention to the proximal contours, and shaping it and blending it with this 8A instrument over the facial surface to blend it down to get a finite margin. Taking off the excesses, wiping off the excesses with my gauze. And you can see I've got the labial wall cured and in place to contour. Okay, it may be slightly overbulked from the facial, but from the proximal, it is to contour. If you look at the lingual, you can look at the lingual shelf. That's a void in there. Now I got to place that. I'm going to fill that with more microfill. Why microfill? Because that's all you're replacing is enamel surface. You don't need anything else. You want this. You want enamel. So there we go. We go ahead. We place an E-lift of material into that void area, the lingual area. Sculpt it, shape it, blend it, get it where we want it. And once we've got it that way, we measure before we finish to make sure that the tooth, that measurement is the same thing as the one on the other side, the tooth plus the space. And it's half the distance between for each tooth. So we measure, and then the thing I'm going to do, because I want to finish the first tooth, because then I can place the material in direct apposition without having a mylar strip in there after acid. So I go ahead and finish, polish, ET on the facial, OS1 on the lingual, go through my disking system from coarse, medium to fine to superfine. Interproximal finishing strip, start with a diamond, and then with a fine, superfine aluminum oxide strip. And that's what we use, aluminum oxide, because that's going to give you the best polish on a microfilm. And once we're done with that, now I take the strip out. Now I got a smooth surface to bond to, so it can't stick to the other surface. So now I place my microfill on the labial on the adjacent tooth, on the right central, and I will sculpt it, shape it, and get it where I want it, live the facial aspect, and then go to the lingual, fill the lingual void. And you can see these instruments, especially the titanium instruments, which are much finer than these, can sculpt beneath the gingival margin, getting a perfect lingual contour, and going up into the embrasure spaces and defining the the embrasure spaces, and bring it on the lingual surface. And the excess comes out. You can see that's still soft. Trim it out through the facial and get rid of the facial gingival excess with the IPC carver, and that's much thicker than the one we have right now. And that's the way it looks when we finish the application, and then we finish and polish. And the contact is so tight that I either do torquing or I can use the interproximal strip. But the torquing works if you're going to place the instrument. There's an 8A chrome instrument. I still use it, okay? I'll place it at the gingival, torque it one way. If it doesn't go, then torque it the other way. If it doesn't go, then you've got something impacted in the gingival. You have to clean out the gingival, and I guarantee it'll go. If you want to use an interproximal saw, that's excellent. Here we're using the 8392-016 to trim so beautifully. You can see how it fits along all the aspects of the lingual surface, and you can take it down beneath the free margin, running at about 3,500 RPM to trim that margin. On the labial, let's take a look. We retract back, and you can see there's excess here. And so I take that for running it and have a water drop. We run it at 35 RPMs and take off the excess. Now, if I saw an area of defect in there and it was going the other way and there was an excess, then I would go in there, freshen up the defective area, put on bonding adhesive, and fill it, and then trim the gingival. Okay? So now we started this way, and this is the way we finish.